Hello friends, welcome back to the cabin. I'm on my way over to see if I can get this truck fixed because the air conditioning quit working a couple years ago. But since I don't drive it that much, it hasn't really been a priority for me. You know, just running around town, I didn't really need it when I could roll the windows down. But I might be heading to Texas, you know, sometime soon to see my son and get some things that he wants to send up here. So I figured I'd go ahead and try to get it fixed. My friend called and said bring it over and we'll kind of troubleshoot it and see if we can figure out what the problem is. So I'll see you over there. I don't know if you can see in there, friends, but is that not a clean engine department? How about that? Look at that. 100,000 miles and it doesn't look like it.
Okay, so I got a good one. Micro fuses. My fingers. So, okay. Okay.
Well friends, all of that testing that we were doing was checking the relays and the fuses to make sure that they were good, which they turned out to be okay. But when you press the button to turn the air conditioning on, the compressor doesn't click or kick in. So we tried that several times, and so there's no point in trying to add any Freon to it because the compressor won't kick in to push any cold air out. So anyway, we're going to have to either find a used one or check out the price on a brand new one. So I'm going to run back over here and check on the kids and see what they're up to. Show them that special wrench that we had to get in order to take that off. That's what it looks like.
68 millimeter by 14. 14 stands for how many, I guess they call it a flute. The little flat spots are around, and 68 is a cross. And it just fits on a socket wrench.
Alright guys, if you've got a four-wheeler like this, like we do, or side by side, this is the plug that goes in the bottom right there. On top of that, or inside of that, you'll have a spring. And then inside of that as well, you've got a filter. Okay, and all this goes back up in there. So if you change the oil, be sure that doesn't fall in there or the spring, and then you dump the oil out somewhere not paying attention because you'll lose those two parts. So we're getting ready to put this back in. Now we are using a special type of oil. It has to be the type for a wet clutch
or they call it JASO MA2. JASO MA2.
It'll probably take 2 or 3 quarts. And you got to have that type of funnel where you can bend it down in there to get to where it needs to go. Alright, we looked it up. It takes 2.2 quarts if you change the filter.
Or the equivalent of 2 liters. So each one of these is 1 liter.
Patrick's putting the screws back in the thing that holds the battery down, because I just happened to find 2 screws that look like that in my toolbox that I probably took out a year ago. How about that, friends? Now that goes on top, and those 2 screws hold it down. Well, we got the oil changed in the little 4-wheeler. The next thing that we need to do, but we're going to have to order it, would be the gear oil, because we need to change that out as well. But now comes the little red truck. So tomorrow we're going to take it, or we're going to take it this evening and drop it off, and then tomorrow morning we are going to change the brakes on the little Nissan. Well, good morning everyone. I'm heading back over to my friend's house to work on the little red Nissan to see if we can get the brakes on and the door latch fixed. That way, if Stephen and Jennifer need to use it to pick up supplies, we'll have an extra truck. So I'll see you over there. Alright friends, check this out. I get over here this morning and he's already got the front ones on. He did that last night. But luckily, these rotors are still in good shape. Alright, they're still smooth. But I want you to look at this brake pad right here. There is literally no pad, almost, just a thin sheet. Less, about a 32nd of an inch or less. So yeah, it was time. Good thing that I got all 4 of them, because the back ones may be just alike. Alright friends, here's the back brakes. Can you see any pad on there? Yeah, I do. Just a little bit. But Lord, I'll tell you what, we got them just in time because they were just about gone. Thank goodness the rotors on the back are okay as well. Yeah, here's the back rotor, so it's in good shape still, wherever it makes contact with the pad. And this one right here, this came off the back, that still had a lot of pad, quite a bit left on it, where that one was about half that much. But still, they needed replaced. Well, friends, we got the brakes fixed in the little Nissan. That kind of makes me feel good, because if Jennifer and Steven need to use a truck now in order to haul something, we've got an extra one. So I gave them the address where I was at. They swung by. Patrick's in the Silverado, I'm in the Nissan, and Jennifer's in her car. So we'll see you back at the cabin. See, we need to turn this on. Yeah, I tell you what, it's going to be really nice once I can get all of the tools down here. Now I've got those out of the way from up there in the cabin, and that water pump out here, so it gives me some more elbow room.
Nice to have a floor.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really nice.
Super nice.
Well, friends, it's about time that Patrick's going to have to go home, but I'll tell you what, we're certainly glad that he was here, because we were able to tie up a bunch of loose ends.
Although it always seems like there's a loose end, but you know, we're getting closer.
She's still got a back porch that we need to build, some front steps, and above the garage, that room up there, and then the shed that they're wanting, but that's outside the house. They can still close, you know, without having that shed. But I'm gonna hate to see him go, because we were able to get the roof on the juice shack up here, and just seemed like, oh, you know, oil changed and brakes put on and all kinds of stuff.
Bunch of stuff done.
Anyway, friends, he will be back. Thanks so much for stopping by. We certainly do appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.